For the first time in its history, the Central African Republic hosted the African Caucus, a continental event that brought together African finance ministers, investors, and leaders of the Bretton Woods institutions in Bangui. This diplomatic and economic recognition marked a strategic turning point for the country, which aims to highlight its vision of development focused on resilient infrastructure and sustainable management of its natural resources. To take stock of this unprecedented event for the sub-region, we welcome the Minister of Finance and Budget of the country, Mr. Hervé NDOBA. Mr. Hervé NDOBA, welcome to Africa 24.
Good evening, Catherine. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you with us. So, you are the president of this major continental dialogue that mobilized nearly 500 delegates around resilient infrastructure, human capital, and green energy. How does the organization of this event fit into the overall economic attractiveness strategy of the CR?
Thank you. It was really important for us to host this meeting for the first time in the history of of our country, as you just said, because most of the time when we go on the newspapers of the other countries, we just realize that our story is not really showed, is not the truth. That what we can read, what we can see on the TV is that the reason why when we received the validation that we could move forward on hosting this kind of event. I had a very interesting discussion with the president, and he told me that yes, this is a great opportunity. Of course, we do have a lot of challenges on the infrastructure side, hotels, restaurants, etc., roads. But he told that this is a good boost, and we really have to take the challenges and try to make it happen. So we were very hard with all the team, and as I said into my final remarks at the closing session of this conference, I said that around 800 people worked very hard behind the scenes so that this can happen. It's very important because all the delegates that we received here, you talked about 500 delegates. It's all the continent who were here in Bangui, 54 countries, of course, plus Haiti. So 55 Haiti was observer at this African Caucus group. So at the end of the day, we think that all those delegates will become now ambassadors of Central African Republic because they will explain to other people the narrative of our country because they were here, they visit the country, they saw how our people are just amazed, they saw our youth people. So we are really happy that this could happen in Bangui because I think that is the start of the new narrative of our country.
At the end of these meetings, a declaration was adopted, the
Yeah.
Bangui Declaration. Could you tell us how you think that declaration will help defend the African interest in the Bretton Woods institution, and what does it mean for your country actually?
It was a very good work that we did with the governors to deliver this very important document, which is the Declaration of Bangui. In this Declaration of Bangui, of course, we take in account all the major problems, the economics problem that we are facing. We as African countries, we raise the issue of the debt distress that we have, and many countries are facing actually this debt distress. So we raise this point and we ask to the IMF and World Bank to urge the reforms that are going on the G20 framework on the debt architecture. We also speak about these reforms of the global financial architecture, which should be accelerate so that we can gain on this. We also in this declaration reaffirm that we are engaged. We as ministers of finance, of economy, of planification, and governors of central bank, we are still engaged into the different reforms that on which we are working to enhance fiscal capacity of the countries, so that we can mobilize more domestic resources. So those are the key points we raise into this declaration, but also we ask them to increase the concessional financing to our country, because we have this very important gap of financing between 130 billion to 170 billion US dollars each year to finance the gap of our infrastructures, and we only collect around 40 billion US dollars. So we need to address the situation, and we need to collect more financing, concessional financing, so that we can fix this issue. Otherwise, we'll not be able to address the objectives of the Agenda 2030, or even the EU Agenda 2063.
You did say this before. These caucus brought together several multilateral partners, including the IMF, the World Bank, the EFTB, and so on. We would like to know, at the end of these meetings, could you share with us some of the MOUs or even the investment promises that were made concerning your national development plan? Were they promises or opportunities to invest much more later?
Thank you so much for this question, but I think that we'll have to wait a little bit, because when you go back to the opening speech of the president, he explained that we will have a round table of investors in Morocco, in Casablanca, in the next month, to raise funds for this National Development Plan 2024-2028. So we'll have to wait a little bit. Of course, he invited them. So I think that they are working actually on the pledge that they will make when we'll be at Casablanca. But for the time, they confirmed that they will all be there. But we'll have to wait a little bit to have the amount they announce.
Can't wait to get there to get the data we need to broadcast to public. The investment plan developed by the CR aims to a total envelope of over 3,000 billion francs CFA over 5 years, with priorities in transportation, energy, and other productive sectors. How can the viability of such a plan be guaranteed after this unprecedented event in the sub-region?
You're totally right. The National Development Plan 2024-2028 is around 3,000 billion US dollar, and what we did in terms of sectors which are on the top priorities on this National Development Plan is of course energy, transportation, all the productive sectors on which we put 2/3 of this total amount, because we really now want to make the shift to move from the humanitarian to the development. So that's the reason why we choose this 2/3 amount, which should be oriented to this productive sectors. Coming back to the way we can, how we can make this happen, we are working very hard actually onto a lot of institutional reforms to enhance our capacity to absorb the funds, because in some country, and it is the case in Central African Republic, sometimes we do have money for project, but we are facing sometimes a lack of absorption capacity. So we really need to work on this, and it's also an issue of human capital, which is really important for us. So we are really engaging a lot of reforms on education, and even technical education, so that really we can have people trained and just ready to engage and to make this happen.
You did speak about human capital. I would like to find out, how can we tap into this potential when it comes to education, especially concerning artificial intelligence?
We received this morning the last panel, a very impressive young lady, Kate Callow, which is a star of the artificial intelligence, and it is the first time in the history of the African Caucus that we receive someone like this in this kind of sectors, to try to demystify, this concept of intelligence artificial, because when we heard about it, we usually think that is something very complex, like something that's which is only at the hand of the NASA or something like this. But she was here. She explained to us very simply, how we can use the artificial intelligence to fast track our reforms, and how in different sectors. And of course, so we talk about agriculture, many other things, taxes, etc., etc. But we also talked about education, and the good news is that we can use also these tools, these digital tools, in order to fast track the education side. And this is what we are trying to do in Central African Republic, because 623,000 square kilometers, 6 million people living there. So you can see it's really it's challenges regarding the density of the population. So we really think that instead of putting a lot of money in infrastructure, like schools, etc., and a lot of infrastructure on this, we can fast track, with digitalization, to allow our people, our students, to get access to the information. So there is a very good news on this, and we'll work very hard on this.
Let's not talk about the prospects of the Central African Republic over the next 5 years. What are the next steps you envision in following up the caucus fallout?
Thank you. Yeah, I think that I'm the chair of the African Caucus 2025. For the chairing the African Caucus 2026, it will not be me. It will be my friends, the Minister of Finance of Gambia, who will take the lead by October 2025, when we'll be in Washington. So he will follow up. But just to say that, in October in Washington, I will give our memorandum, which is the second document that we deliver during this African Caucus in Bangui, meeting in Bangui, and we will give this document to the president of the World Bank Group, as well as the managing director of IMF, and they will have to respond to us. So I remember when in October 2024, when I took the chair of the African Caucus, I received the letter of the request that we had in July 2024. It was in Abuja. So we will follow up, and we will still participating at the African Caucus meeting. So it will be in Abuja in July 2026. So yeah, we're still in the game, and we will continue to contribute as well.
Mr. Hervé NDOBA, Minister of Finance and Budget of the Central African Republic, thank you for answering our questions.
Thank you for you.
Ladies and gents, your fidelity honors us. Thank you for trusting us with the African news brought to you. Please stay tuned to Africa24tv.com and on the app My Africa 24.